Offininacest. Mot need this book delivered immediately, Gwen said, shoving a massive, beautiful arrangement of red roses and white lilies into his arms. He claims he is allergic to pollen, which he can't, which is a terrible career choice for a florist. Onda dropped his robotic pose, his face falling. Gwent, Mot Kenty, do deliveries. Mot met supposed to be at Kaufman's in half an hour for my dress rehearsal. And besides, look at me. Mot look like a marble bust of Julius Caesar that been dropped in flour on Bentley. From Kaufman's, Gwen said, pushing him toward the door. It S for Barney's girl. The card is attached. Just drop it off, don't say anything, and run. Please, Jazz. Mot luglunk make you that eggplant. Parmesan. You love. Ona yet holpetid. Painted shoulders, slumping. Fine. But if the grease paint melts into the roses, you re-explaining it to sweet cheeks. At least. Has minutes later. Jazz was standing into the hallway of an elegant apartment building on Elm Street, clutching the massive bouquet. He checked the card, apartment 3B. To Muffin, from Sweet Cheeks, or knocked on the door. It was opened by a young woman with stunning reddish-brown hair, green eyes, and a smile that instantly made Jazz forget how to breathe. She was wearing a simple silk robe and looked like she had just woken up from a very luxurious nap. Mofis. Her voice soft and melodic. On stood, frozen. This time, it was T. Because of his mechanical training, his brain had simply ceased all cognitive functions. Ovation motted. Flowers, he squeaked. He cleared his throat, trying to find his voice. Delivery for Muffin? The girl laughed, a beautiful, rich sound. Oh, you must be the florist, but please, call me Angelica. Muffin is just a silly nickname an acquaintance gave me. Quanniplight repeated, his voice dropping into his most romantic chef baritone. A name as beautiful as the blossom itself. Mot M. Jazz. Obi. Jazz, she said, looking at him curiously. Is there a reason your face is entirely white? Omon Barnaby. Jazz quickly touched his cheek, realizing he was wearing his Kaufman-esque grease paint. Oh, yes, it is. A new organic skin treatment, very exclusive, made from ground pearls and the tears of French oysters. It keeps the pores incredibly youthful, fascinating, Angelica said, leaning against the doorframe. You know, Jazz, most delivery boys just hand over the flowers and leave. But you have a very artistic energy, old Bivamind. Jazz said, puffing his chest out. I sculpt with butter, Mot paint with sauce. Flowers are merely the garnish of my soul. Her eyes lit up. A chef? Oh, Mot adore men who can cook. The last man Mot met. Well, he told me he was in transit logistics. But Mot met, pretty sure he just sells used cars and wears too much cheap cologne. Omenidats, Bastai. Barnesi, waves smoothly. The world is full of such unrefined men, Angelica. Men who think a bouquet of flowers can make up for a complete lack of culinary sophistication. Omtingetized. You are so right, she said, taking the roses and smelling them. These are beautiful. But you know, I think Mot preferred the chef to the florist. When to heart racing. Jazz smiled, his Angelica. Perhaps we could discuss the relative merits of French pastry over, say, a quiet cup of coffee. Sight. Would love that, she said, her green eyes, locking onto his, met free this evening. Oyus labi mightly. By the next afternoons of Unit 3C was a battlefield of romantic tension. Though only one of the combatants was aware of it. Bromital excitement. Jazz, my man. Mott met telling you Muffin is the one. Mott took her out for a drive last night, and she was practically hanging on my every word about the carburetor system of the Bay My 2 sedan. She digs cars, Jazz. She has the perfect woman. Questioned Endetizies. Jazz, who was sitting on the sofa, a plicy, fresh coat of white grease paint for his shift at Kaufman-S, let out a dry, robotic chuckle. Rushnind. Yes, Barney. How? Mechanically inclined of her, but tell me, does she enjoy? Refined conversation. Perhaps a discussion on the delicate balance of a chocolate souffle. Puntly. Barney waved his hand. She is a simple girl. Jazz. She loves the fast lane. How's your girl doing? You said you met someone too. Ontin Vulturi, listily. Oh yes, Jazz said, his voice dripping with smug satisfaction. Mott met a woman named Angelica. She is a creature of pure elegance, Barney. She has reddish-brown hair, green eyes that can pierce your soul, and she absolutely detests men who sell used cars. Why, Barney laughed. Well, to each his own. Mine has brownish-red hair, green eyes, and she has got this great laugh. It's yet funny how similar they sound. If Maud didn't have Muffin, Maud'd be jealous, Luce muttered. Very funny, quite happily. Gwen walked into the room, holding a basket of clean laundry. She stopped, looking between the two of them, her eyes narrowing as she sensed the impending disaster. Did you deliver those flowers to Barney's girl yesterday? Almost did, Jazz said, blinking once behind his white makeup. I delivered them with exquisite care. Ben, did you talk to her? Regarding botanical fetus. Jazz Klee, ID. Of ideas regarding botanical aesthetics, Jazz said defensively. Light. Jazz, Gwen said, her voice dropping into a warning tone. If you did what Mott think you did, he protested, leaping to his feet and accidentally knocking over his jar of grease paint. I merely offered her an alternative, a culinary alternative, and she accepted, whining at Jazz. What are you guys talking about? What alternative? Wendell Barney. Jazz said quickly, grabbing his coat. Mott have to go to work. The window at Kaufman-S awaits. Mott must be brass. Mott must be steel. No time for gossip. Looking highly confused. And Gray pulled in weird. Gwen, Barney said, scratching his head. Do you think the white paint is getting into his brain? Off an idea. You have no idea, Waitiki Win Estate. The display window of Kaufman was prime real estate on Pelican Cove's main thoroughfare. Awful lead. Behind the massive glass pane, a beautifully decorated autumn scene had been set up, complete with fake colorful leaves, a rustic wooden bench, and a sign that read, Fall into savings. All coats Bon Nuit Fantôme off. Comte de Quail. In the center of the window stood Jazz, porcelain white. He was wearing a perfectly tailored wolf wool overcoat, his face painted a flawless porcelain white. His eyes were fixed forward, unblinking, his arms positioned in a rigid right-angle pose, holding a sign that pointed toward the store's entrance. Onolduation, Hruten. To the casual passerby, he looked exactly like an exceptionally realistic, high-end clockwork mannequin. Unterbent. For Jazz was a triumph of the trade. Jest. He didn't twitch, he didn't sway, and he successfully ignored a small child who was standing on the sidewalk, making ridiculous faces at him. Tilt. Then he saw them, going in Talika. The sidewalk, hand in hand, were Barney and Angelica, on deniously soid. Jazz's heart stopped. Angelica was wearing a stunning